The story of Sam Altman isn't just about artificial intelligence. It says about human courage, the courage to dream so big that it changes the direction of the world. In a time when most people were afraid of what technology might do, one man believed that it could help us become better. He believed in teaching machines not to replace humans, but to understand them. This is the story of Sam Altman, the man who helped create ChatGPT and redefined what's possible when curiosity meets purpose. Sam Altman was born in 1985 in St. Louis, Missouri, a city far from the bright lights of Silicon Valley. His childhood was ordinary in every sense, except for one thing: he was endlessly curious. While other kids spent their afternoons outside, Sam would sit in front of his family's old Macintosh computer, exploring how it worked. He once said that discovering computers at a young age gave him a superpower. It wasn't the machine that fascinated him. It was the idea that you could create something out of nothing just by typing lines of code. His parents noticed early that Sam wasn't like most children. He wasn't chasing grades or popularity. He was chasing ideas. That mindset would become his greatest strength later in life. In high school, Sam's friends saw him as quiet but deeply thoughtful. He loved solving problems that didn't even exist yet. When he was 16, while most teens were worried about fitting in, he was learning how the internet worked, how data moved, and how to make technology do new things. Those long nights coding in his room in St. Louis were the first chapters of a journey that would eventually lead to OpenAI. After high school, Sam enrolled at Stanford University, studying computer science. For many, Stanford was a dream. For Sam, it was an opportunity to experiment. But after just 2 years, he dropped out. Not because he failed, but because he wanted to build something real. That decision, one that most people would call reckless, was the moment his story truly began. In 2005, at the age of 19, Sam founded Looped, a location-sharing app that allowed users to see where their friends were in real time. This was long before smartphones and social media took over. The idea was years ahead of its time. Investors doubted it. The world wasn't ready for it, but Sam didn't give up. He worked for years on Looped, often sleeping in his office, living off cheap food, and fighting through constant rejections. He watched other companies rise and fall, but he kept going. Looped eventually sold for $43 million, not the billion-dollar success people expected. But it gave Sam something more valuable: experience and perspective. He learned how to fail, how to recover, and how to keep moving when the world isn't cheering you on. Those lessons would guide every decision he made after that. In his 20s, Sam joined Y Combinator, a startup accelerator that helped small ideas become billion-dollar companies. It was founded by Paul Graham, one of the most respected figures in tech. Graham saw something special in Sam, not just intelligence but a rare kind of emotional clarity. Sam wasn't driven by greed. He was driven by the question, how can I make the world better? Over the years, Sam helped launch companies like Airbnb, Dropbox, and Reddit. He became president of Y Combinator, mentoring young founders and shaping Silicon Valley's next generation. But deep down, he wanted something even more meaningful. He wasn't satisfied with just helping people get rich. He wanted to help humanity evolve. That vision led him to OpenAI in 2015. Sam joined forces with Elon Musk, Greg Brockman, and a few other brilliant minds. Their goal wasn't to make the most profitable company, it was to make artificial intelligence safe, transparent, and beneficial for everyone. They called it OpenAI because it would be open to the world. While big corporations were building secret AI systems for money and power, Sam's team took the opposite path. They shared their research publicly, inviting scientists, developers, and thinkers to join the mission. It was a bold and risky move, but Sam believed that true progress only happens when knowledge is shared, not hidden. The early years were tough. AI wasn't a hot topic yet. Most people didn't even understand it. Investors were skeptical, and critics said OpenAI was wasting time on science fiction. But Sam and his team kept going. They worked day and night, testing, failing, and learning. Every failure brought them closer to something extraordinary. Then, in 2022, everything changed. OpenAI launched ChatGPT, an artificial intelligence model capable of understanding and generating human-like text. It wasn't just another tech tool. It was something that felt alive, something that could think, respond, and communicate like a human. Within weeks, ChatGPT became a global phenomenon. Students used it to study, writers used it to create, businesses used it to innovate. The world had never seen anything like it. But success brought challenges. Critics warned that AI could become dangerous, that it could spread misinformation or take away jobs. Governments demanded regulation. Companies feared disruption. Through all the noise, Sam stayed calm. His focus was on balance, building AI that was powerful yet safe, revolutionary yet responsible. He faced questions that no one had answers to. What does it mean for machines to think? What happens when technology becomes smarter than humans? For Sam, these weren't reasons to stop. They were reasons to build more carefully. Sam's leadership style was unique. He didn't act like a typical CEO. He wasn't loud or intimidating. He listened. He asked questions. He admitted when he didn't know something. and that humility made people trust him. Inside OpenAI, he was known for encouraging big ideas, no matter how impossible they sounded. He believed in experimentation. Try it, he'd say, and if it fails, we'll learn something. That mindset became the foundation of OpenAI's culture. It's what allowed a small group of dreamers to create one of the most transformative technologies of our time. As the world began to change around him, Sam stayed grounded. He didn't chase luxury or fame. He lived simply, often biking to work and spending hours thinking about the long-term impact of technology. He once said, "If we get AI right, it could be the best thing that ever happens to humanity. If we get it wrong, it could be the worst." That's why he approached every decision with caution, empathy, and vision. For Sam, the mission was never about building robots. It was about understanding intelligence itself and how it could help solve humanity's biggest problems, from climate change to education to healthcare. By 2023, ChatGPT had changed everything. It was helping doctors write reports, teachers create lessons, and ordinary people communicate better. It became the fastest-growing technology in history, but with fame came controversy. Some accused OpenAI of moving too fast. Others said it was changing society too quickly. Sam faced Senate hearings, tough interviews, and global criticism. But through it all, he never lost his composure. He often said, "The future doesn't wait for us to feel ready. We have to step into it, even if it's uncomfortable." Those words became his philosophy and a lesson for anyone chasing big dreams. Sam's journey also carried a deeper message. You, Dan T., need to be born a genius to make history. You just need relentless curiosity and the courage to keep going. He proved that intelligence alone isn't enough, it's persistence that builds empires. From a quiet child in Missouri to a global visionary shaping the future of AI, Sam's story shows what happens when passion meets purpose. His path wasn't easy. He faced failure, criticism, and uncertainty. But he turned each obstacle into fuel for the next breakthrough. Behind every technological revolution are humans who dare to imagine a better world. Sam Altman is one of them. He didn't just build a company, he built a movement that believes technology should uplift, not destroy, that humans and machines can work together to solve problems bigger than ourselves. When asked what drives him, Sam once replied, "I just want to make sure the future is good." It sounds simple, almost too simple, but that's what makes it powerful. In a world full of noise, his purpose remains clear. Today, Sam continues to lead OpenAI with a quiet intensity. He spends his time thinking about the next generation of AI, one that could help humanity understand the universe, the mind, and even life itself. He often reminds his team that the real goal isn't to make AI perfect, it's to make it useful, fair, and kind. He believes the future will belong to those who are brave enough to shape it. "Most people wait for permission," he once said, "but the world changes because of those who act before they're ready." That's the heart of his story. It's not about machines or money, it's about mindset. Sam Altman's journey teaches us that success doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from learning faster, adapting, and refusing to give up when things get hard. When we look at OpenAI today, we see more than a company. We see an idea that humans can work with technology to build something extraordinary. And behind that idea stands a man who never stopped asking, what if? Sam Altman's life reminds us that innovation isn't about tools, it's about belief. It's about seeing potential where others see limits. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start asking the right questions. Because in the end, the future doesn't belong to those who wait, it belongs to those who create. Sam Altman didn't wait for permission. He created the future. And now, the question is, will you?